The Indians kick off the final homestand of the season tonight against the Royals. Two teams stand just a half game apart in the AL Central, and the Tribe is hoping for a repeat performance from last weekend's effort by Shin-Soo Choo in Kansas City. It's next on Sports Time Ohio. It's a beautiful evening in downtown Cleveland, Ohio, as the Indians open up their final homestand of the season against the Kansas City Royals. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. And the last time the Indians saw Kansas City, the Royals saw plenty of Shin-Soo Choo. He was a one-man wrecking crew in that series.
Boy, every pitch he saw in that series, he seemed to hit out of the ballpark. You see a fastball out over the plate, he pulls it to right field. He's going to hit a fastball the other way. And I mean, again, he does it. And Shin-Soo Choo, that's how you win American League Player of the Week. He had 4 home runs in that series against the Royals last weekend. He had 10 RBIs, and he's looking to add to that. Also, the 2 stolen bases, that made him a 20-20 man for his second consecutive year.
Indians and Royals so far this year have split 14 games between them, so we'll see how they fare in this final matchup of the season. Here's our pitching matchup, brought to you by Gatorade, the G Series. 3 fuels for 3 stages of the game. Gatorade has evolved. That's G.
Sean O'Sullivan pitching for the Kansas City Royals. In his 10 starts, he's 1-6 in a 6.79 ERA, going up against Mitch Talbot, who has struggled in the second half, 1-4, 6.23, and he's going to go out there and try and get back on the winning track.
All right, Royals lead the Tribe by a half game in the division standings. We've got all the play-by-play action coming up next. Progressive Field. It's a 4-game series tonight, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to wrap up the season series between these two clubs. 7 wins for each team heading into this 4-gamer here tonight. Mitch Talbot on the hill for the Tribe. Let's look at the Royals starting lineup. For manager Ned Yost, Gerard Dyson leads it off. Then it's Mike Aviles at second. Billy Butler bats third. Wilson Bedemet hitting cleanup. Keila Kahui will DH. Yunieski Betancourt bats sixth. Then it's Alex Gordon, Lucas May, and Mitch Meyer.
And tonight's starting pitcher is Mitch Talbot, brought to you by the Indians Team Shop, where you'll get 2 free tickets when you spend $50. He is making his 27th start and his first since September 12th. It was against the Twins. You remember he went out there, had shoulder inflammation, and left after facing just 3 batters. Gave up a couple of hits, and all 3 runs were put on his docket, and he ended up taking a loss. 9-12 on the year, and he is going to be matched up against Kansas City, 0-1 this year in 2 starts against the Royals. 16 hits in 10 2/3 innings for Talbot.
All right, so Gerard Dyson ready to step in and get us underway here tonight.
Down low, ball one. Gerard Dyson, a player with tremendous speed.
He had a good game against the Indians last week in Kansas City. Remember, he made a nice catch in center field up against the wall, and
he can
he
cover
did show his
ground.
speed.
Yeah.
And he hit a double into left center field. Showed some pop.
There's a strike.
After one game, it sort of reminded us of a little Joey Gathright.
Yeah.
Who played with Tampa and the Royals as well.
88 degrees, our game time temperature here tonight. The 2-1 is a called strike. Dyson checked on the pitch. And the count evens up at 2-2. Dyson, then Mike Aviles here in the first for Kansas City. Swung on and missed, and Talbot strikes him out.
Let's check out the defense behind Talbot this evening. It's Duncan, Crow, and Chu. Crow was a late addition. Brantley came out right before game time. It's Nix, Sutton, Balbuena, Laporta on the infield. And it'll be Lou Marson behind the plate.
There's a long drive down the left field line, headed for the porch and gone. Mike Aviles with his 7th home run of the year. RBI number 30. And the Royals grab a 1-0 lead. For Mitch Talbot, that's his 13th home run allowed on the season.
He's been, I'll tell you, on a tear with the long ball. Had just 2 home runs in his first 337 at-bats, but now has 5 in his last 40. So he has been some kind of hot. He will give Kansas City the lead. There's that little fastball on the inner part of the plate he turns on. Gets it just up onto the porch.
Billy Butler looks at a ball up high. Butler continuing to tear it up offensively. He's hit in 8 straight games. And he's hit in a club record 100 consecutive series.
Well, we were keeping track of that last week, so he obviously went to Detroit and did that.
It's one of those stats, too, that, we had never, I don't know about you, but I'd never seen before the Royals started putting that in their notes.
Well, never kept a track of it.
It's not something that teams really keep track of,
but it's
normally.
It is impressive. I mean, they've done it for a while because you go back and it was guys like Amos Otis and Willie Wilson and people that he passed. So they have done it for quite some time.
Not sure what kind of historical context you can put that in as well. Outside, and Butler draws a walk with 1 out here in the first. Jeff Nelson calling the balls and strikes tonight. Mark Carlson is down at first. Jeff Kellogg at second. Larry Vanover is at third. And with 1 on 1 out here in the first, Wilson Bedemet, switch hitting cleanup man, steps to the plate. Dozen homers for Bedemet. Right back to the mound, over the top of Talbot's glove and into center field it goes. And the Royals have runners at first and second with 1 out now. That looked like it was going to be an inning-ending double play, but Talbot was just unable to nab it.
Well, that ball coming at you a lot quicker than it seems. There, it hits the dirt and comes in, and he wanted to get his head out of the way, and a good thing he did. That was head high. Watch him move. Didn't get a good look. He saw it was coming right at his face. I don't blame him. Get out of the way.
Now Keila Kaiahui. Just 3 hits in his last 19 at-bats. But all 3 of those hits have been extra base jobs. Well, I beg your pardon. 2 of those 3 hits, a double and a homer. Guy who has shown the potential for power throughout his career in the minor leagues.
Well, their chance to take a look at him for the remainder of the year like it was when he came up to see how he fits into their plans. You know, Kansas City and Cleveland a lot alike. But with the Royals, they feel like their team is at Double-A. You know, it may be a few years down the road. But getting a look at guys, Ned Yost getting a new deal this year, so he'll be on for a couple of more years. But they feel like most of their talent was in Double-A this year. But nowadays, it's not so crazy to see guys go from Double-A to the big leagues. I'm not saying they're all making the jump at once, but there are people that can do that.
Talbot having a tough time finding the strike zone. He walked Butler on 5 pitches. He's 3-0 to Kaiahui. And he walked him on 4, and the bases are loaded. Still only 1 out here in the first.
Well, when it comes to Mitch Talbot early in the ball game, he is a guy that it's all about the command of his fastball. And there goes Tim Belcher to talk to him. He has run into problems early. We've seen him give up a lot of runs in the first inning at times because of that command.
Well, and you remember, it was his last start here at Progressive Field, which was, 11
September 12th,
days ago. And that's the game when he didn't get a batter out, 3 hits.
Right.
A couple of hits into the ballgame. He had to be removed because he had the injury.
Yeah, Masterson came in and did a great job out of the bullpen, but they were down. I think Twins scored 5 runs in the first inning in that ballgame, and they just never could catch up. Well, he's in danger of having another big first inning here. 21 earned runs, 25 runs allowed in the first inning.
Yuniesky Betancourt. Looks at a first pitch strike. He went 6 for 12 in their last series against Detroit.
Well, here's a guy that's had a good year for him. He's up in the number 6 hole tonight for I don't know what reason, because normally he was hitting 8th last weekend. He does have 3 grand slams this year.
Back through the legs of Talbot. Backhanded by Valbuena, and Sutton can't come up with it cleanly. Everybody's safe, and it's 2-0 Kansas City.
Well, I think a play right there where Valbuena may have tried to get a little too quick with it. Instead of just getting 1 out and making the play, I think he tried to get fancy to try and get a double play and just flip it out of his glove. He could have got an out. He made a nice play to stop it. But he wanted to go out of his glove and flip it, and it was a bad flip. Just take it, get the 1 out, and if you turn 2, it's a bonus. But you have to get an out. He couldn't do it. Bad flip.
An error charge to Valbuena on the fielder's choice. You know, that's also one of those plays, too, Rick, as Alex Gordon steps in, where a second baseman and a shortstop work in concert when they have repetition and they know each other. And that's a tough play, I think, to execute when you're not really sure.
You just get an out.
Who's, what that guy, who's turning it, where he likes to feed, what his capabilities are.
Yeah. I mean, it was not an easy play. He made a nice stop, but you got to take the time to make sure you get 1 out. He could have done that. Don't make a great play, just make the play.
Two balls and a strike to count here on Alex Gordon.
But now let me see. Betancourt will get an RBI for that, right?
Mm-hmm. Two on to Gordon. Jammed him right back to the screen. Wilson Bedemitz at third. Keila Kaiahui is at second, and Uni Betancourt down at first. Here in the first for Kansas City. 2 runs already in with 1 out. And the 2-2 is outside, full count. Talbot's payoff pitch. Swung on and missed. He looked like he chased ball 4. Mitch gets his second strikeout. 2 down here in the first.
Well, he had to go at him. Let's see where that pitch is. It'll be a fastball away, and I think you're right. He helped him out. He chased ball 4. But you get the strikeout, and one more big out to keep this just a 2-0 ball game.
This will be Mitch Talbot's 25th pitch here in the first inning. The number 8 hitter is Lucas May. And he takes a strike over the outside part of the plate. Lucas May came from the Dodgers in the Scott Posednik trade right before the deadline. May in 24 games at AAA batted .275 for the O Royals. Bases loaded, 2 down. 2-0 Kansas City. Talbot's 0-1 pitch is over for a strike. Long look in for Mitch Talbot. Got him down on the count 0-2. And May chops it foul over top of the Indians' dugout. Good to be in the front row. May batting just $136 in his brief time with the Royals. That covers 22 at bats. Talbot with the 0-2. High fly ball to center. Trevor Crowe is under it. And the inning is over. Kansas City sends 8 men to the plate. They score 2, leave them loaded. Indians coming to bat. Let's go to the bottom of the first inning. Indian starting lineup presented by Progressive Insurance, proud to be the official auto insurance provider of the Cleveland Indians. Trevor Crowe leading it off. Then it's Drew Sutton, followed by Shin-Soo Choo, who has really beat up the Royals this year. Hafner, Duncan, Nix in the middle. Matt Laporta, Luis Valbuena, Lou Marson rounded out.
Sean O'Sullivan making the start, his 11th start for the Royals. He is 2-6 overall, 6.58 ERA. He started that ball game on Saturday night and got the loss in that 3-hour and 40-minute delay debacle. He gave up 6 runs, 6 hits and 5 runs. Never came back after the second delay.
Trevor Crowe, a late addition to the Indians starting lineup here tonight. Michael Brantley was in the original starting lineup, but was scratched with some tightness in his hamstring. There is Brantley, who's had a terrific last couple of months. Crowe sends a high pop to left. And Alex Gordon has it, 1 away.
Let's check out the KC defense. Brought to you by Huntington Bank. Gordon, Dyson, Meyer in the outfield. Benjamin, Betancourt, Aviles, and Butler on the infield with May behind the plate.
Now Drew Sutton steps in, and he takes a strike over the outside part of the plate. Ooh, close pitch, didn't get it. A little bit low. 1-1 the count for Drew Sutton now. Sutton has gone 7 for 23 in 6 games with the Tribe. And a liner to Butler at first for out number 2. Here's our great clip of the game, brought to you by Great Clips. And Shin-Soo Choo had a 3-homer game against the Royals in Kansas City, homering off 3 different pitchers. He would go on to homer 4 times in the series and drive in 10.
That's funny you say that. It reminds me of, who was catching that game. Pena was catching. And remember what he said after the game? We tried everything. We threw him soft in the end like a changeup, sinker down and away, fastball up and in. We couldn't get him out. Maybe that's why May's catching tonight.
And a fastball strike. Well, when a guy's locked in, there's really no way to get him out.
That's just, he had a terrific night. 7 ribbies. Had 10 in the series. Ended up hitting a home run on getaway day.
I mean, you think back to the days when Albert Bell was a dominant player in the American League for the Indians. I'm sure pitchers felt the same way when they would face him at times when he was locked in. You didn't know what to throw him.
Well, you don't throw him strikes. Or, if you do, it's just one of those days that you love to see as a fan and as a teammate.
Betancourt, the shortstop, back onto the outfield grass. And the Indians go 1-2-3. 2-zip Kansas City after 1. Fly right. And by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. Mitch Meyer looks at ball one down low. Batting ninth in the Royals lineup here tonight. Meyer batting .256 on the year. Down the line, foul. Meyer 5 homers. He's driven in 39, 14 doubles. Talbot with a breaking ball down and in. 2 balls and a strike. Caught the corner outside, right at the knees, 2-2. Big bouncer to first. And it goes through Laporta. Second error of the night already for the Indians. And the Royals get their leadoff man aboard.
Well, there's a bounce right there. He backs up, and it did stay down on him. It sort of tricked him. That ball, I don't know what it hit, but it stayed down. A ball you still should catch. He was expecting a bigger hop.
Ooh, they give him a base hit. Gerard Dyson struck out his first time up. He steps out of the box. Mitch Talbot might beg to differ. Now the pitch. And Dyson looks, it's up high.
I'll tell you who's happy is Mitch Meyer.
Yeah.
He's saying thank you very much. But anyway, that leadoff man is aboard. In the first inning, Talbot ended up striking out the first man he faced, who is Dyson right here. But then he ran into a little trouble after that.
Outside corner, 1-1. Dyson played 46 games at AAA this year. Missed most of the first half with a couple of different injuries. He had a high ankle sprain, also a lat injury. The 1-1. Mounts to second. Valbuena goes to Sutton for one. The relay, not in time. Dyson can really move going down the line. So they get one. And Dyson's at first with 1 out for Mike Aviles. Time now for our achievement of the game. It's brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in us all. Mike Sarbaugh managing the Columbus Clippers to the International League Championship as well as the overall AAA Championship when they beat the PCL champ Tacoma. This guy won the New York Penn League Championship in 2004 with Mahoning Valley, the Carolina League in 2006 with Kinston. Last year he won the Eastern League Championship with Akron, and now he's added the International League title this season with Columbus. So he has really done a terrific job at every level managing in the Indian system.
And probably the toughest place to manage is where he just ended, AAA. I would think of all the stops that Mike has made. But, boy, I guess when you're a manager down in the minor leagues, your job is to get them ready for the big leagues. And, boy, they took enough of his players this year, but they still maintain the continuity to win. And so, congratulations. They did a nice job down there.
On the 1-0 pitch, runner goes. Dyson, he can fly. Throw down. Not in time. It was close. Marson made a pretty good throw. But Dyson gets his 5th steal.
Almost overslides the bag. You watch his foot. Watch his left foot. It remains on the bag. He slides head first, and he is going to go over the bag. He's still on it and stays on it with his left foot. Look at him trying to slide away from the tag. And he knows he's done that a number of times before. That's why the Balbuena kept the tag right there.
Mike Aviles homered to left his first time up. Kansas City on top 2-0. Runner in scoring position with 1 out here in the second inning. There's a liner to left. Duncan. He'll grab it. Dyson holds at second, 2 down. Tonight at 11, join Jim Donovan, Doug Deacon, Tony Grossi, and the coach Sam Martigliano for Chevy's Sunday Strategy. They'll preview the Browns matchup against the Ravens. And that will not be an easy one for the Browns. Chevy's Sunday Strategy tonight at 11 right here on STO. In the dirt. Billy Butler walked and scored in the first inning. It's never an easy matchup when you go against the Ravens, but I think particularly this week it's going to be tough because the Ravens are still steaming after their loss to Cincinnati on some questionable calls by the officials. 1-0 pitch. Up and in, 2 balls, no strikes. Butler walked his first time up, and now he's sitting 2-0 again.
Well, this is a guy you don't really want to pitch to. You want to be very careful. He is by far their best hitter, one of the top guys in the league with runners in scoring position. And, you know, if you happen to walk him, go right ahead.
Well, he just might do that.
Yeah, I mean, you're down 3-0. You don't want to give him a strike. He's definitely he's earned the reputation of a good hitter. You also have a good hitter behind him, but I would rather take my chances there than with Butler because Butler's he's right there, boy. He's tough.
That's up high, and they walked him again. So 2 on with 2 out, and Wilson Bedemet, who had a base hit right up the middle his first time to the plate, steps in.
One stat we look at with Talbot, and we have all year when he's on the mound, is tonight, 8 out of his 12, he's been behind in the count 1-0. So that strike one has been a tough pitch for him.
Bedemet looks at ball 1 inside. More balls than strikes so far for Talbot here tonight. Talbot's 1-0. He's low again.
He's right now you're nibbling. You know, and you're going to dig yourself a hole. Eventually, you continue to pitch like this, they're going to get you. Already 46 pitches. And you have to go, you know, I can see him going around Butler, but you have to go at somebody. He can't continue to just fall behind because eventually you're going to have to get in the strike zone.
Bedemet hammers it foul on the right side. He wasn't going to spot him a strike.
Well, you don't. I mean, when good hitters get in RBI situations and they get the count in their favor, that's what they do. He eliminated doubt. He knew he was getting a fastball. So he says, there you go. Look at the swing they put on it. And what do we say? When you're ahead in the count as a hitter, if you're going to hit it hard, you better pull it foul. Don't hit it to the other side. He put a good swing on the baseball.
20th pitch of the inning now for Talbot. And he swings and misses, 2-2.
There you go. That's what Mitch did. He came back with a good changeup. You know, that's the pitch he gets strikeouts with, and that's the pitch that's been awfully tough on left-handers all year for Talbot. But a lot of times when you're ahead in the count, you can go to that pitch for a couple of times in a row. Go with a changeup again.
2-2. Chops it up the first baseline. Laporta steps on the bag, and the inning is over. Still 2-0 Kansas City as we move now to the bottom of the second. Some answers as he talks to Tim Belcher. It's been a struggle for him through the first two.
Yeah, and you know, as a pitching coach, you're trying to get some feedback and trying to find out what's going on. He knows, I think Belch knows that he's struggling right now to throw strikes and to get into a rhythm. Again, he hasn't pitched since the 12th, and he didn't pitch that game because he was hurt. You know, and he could definitely, you know, he may just be done. That's all. But he's going to grind it through. We've seen Talbot now go through games like this where he's given up early and he's battled and fought his way back and found his rhythm, you know, to give you a solid 5 innings. But the first 2 innings he has struggled.
Travis Hafner with a 1-1 count. Sean O'Sullivan. Foul tip. Sean O'Sullivan's taking the mound thinking, you know, it probably should be more than just 2-0. He's been having to sit in that dugout for quite a while between innings, but the Royals so far have played it just a pair. Now the 1-2. Hafner pops it in the air. Down the left field line. And it drops in. Just inside the line for a bloop single. And the Indians get their leadoff man aboard here in the second.
Well, fooled on this pitch. Changeup. Down and away, and you can see he lost everything, just all arms. But that ball falls in fair territory, goes as a base knock. Looks like a line drive tomorrow in that newspaper. So the Indians will get their first hit. Leadoff man aboard.
Now Shelley Duncan. He's out in front of that changeup. Duncan in his last 17 games, batting .267. And that's the way it goes. You swing at the changeup, fool a little bit, and then the fastball.
Well, then you tell yourself, all right, now be patient. Now let's go. And then next thing you know, that pitch you were looking for, it goes by you. That's how hitting is sometimes.
The 0-2 in the dirt, smothered nicely by May. Final game in that 4-game series between the Yankees and the Rays tonight in New York. Tampa got the win last night to close the gap back to a 1.5 over New York. Check, did he go? He did. And that's out number 1. First strikeout for O'Sullivan.
Now that's Matt Laporta. Last week facing Sean O'Sullivan, last Saturday, straightaway central for a grand salami.
Laporta
his first.
To the on-deck circle with Jason Nix coming up. The pitch. And it's down low for ball 1. In the air, left center. Dyson is there. 2 down. Back to first goes Hafner. That'll bring up Matt Laporta, who we just showed you a moment ago. Had that slam off O'Sullivan last week in Kansas City. Laporta, 11 home runs on the year. But has hit just 194 at home in 180 at-bats.
Matt has just had an inconsistent year.
Bouncing ball to third. Betterment goes the short way, and the inning is over. 2 complete. Royals 2, Indians nothing. Keila Kaiahui will lead off the third for Kansas City. He walked his first time up. This next pitch will be number 50 for Mitch Talbot. And a breaking ball in for a strike.
He needs one of those innings, an 8 or 10 pitch inning where he can get back in there. And when he's on, he gets those, Matt. When he's strike one and he's proven to that lineup that he can throw strikes early in the count. And then we've seen him have 7 pitch innings. We've seen him have 8 pitch innings. But tonight he hasn't proven he can find the strike zone. And this is a Kansas City team that they're average-wise, they can hit. They're second in the league in hitting, coming in at 276. Their problems a lot of times are getting that big hit to drive in runs. They had Talbot on the hook to have a big inning, but he was able to get away with just giving up the 2. Yeah, he's just all over the place.
Three-one count. And a strike over the inside corner. Runs the count full. Kaihui, Betancourt, and Gordon for Kansas City here in the third. High fly ball center field. Trevor Crowe. One away. All right, it's time now for the AT&T trivia question. AT&T, rethink possible. Since Mickey Mantle in 1956, 3 switch hitters have won a batting title in the American League. Chew on that one for a while. Yuniesky Betancourt looks at a ball up high. Betancourt got on top of that high pitch, drives it into left center, and a one-out single for the Royals shortstop. That will bring up Alex Gordon, who transitioned this year from third base to left field for Kansas City.
Oh, boy, that's way up there. I don't know if that was a changeup, a slider, or what. It got out of his hand and it stayed up, and that's why it got hit.
A couple of days ago, Alex Gordon told Bob Dutton of the Kansas City Star, quote, "I'm going to dominate next year. Not that this year is over, but I'm going to dominate next year."
Oh, yeah? Well, it's a pretty big statement.
Gordon says, quote, "I've shown flashes, but something that's bothered me is I haven't been consistent. I show flashes, and then I go into a slump, and that wipes out what I just did. I need to figure out how to be consistent and put it all together throughout the year."
Well, he made a pretty big statement, so he better figure it out in a hurry.
Yes, he did. His general manager, Dayton Moore, says, quote, "I think Alex is going to have a great year next year. I really do. I think he's going to be a solid contributor. I'll say this, you can win a championship with Alex Gordon on your club." So the Royals obviously still believe strongly that Gordon is a key guy in their organization, even with the struggles early in his career and going through the position change. Ned Yost, he's a little more diplomatic. He says, "I think he's going to be fine. Do I think he's going to hit 300? Maybe not. But I do think he's got a chance to hit 20 to 25 homers and drive in 80 to 85 runs."
That's the manager taking pressure off him. You can go out and make a statement like that, but you don't want to say it too loud. Because, you put a target on your back. And this is a tough game to play. And if you can go out there, I think a goal would be, I'm going to go out there and be the best left fielder I can be, and I want to play in 162 games. And then let the cards fall where they may. It's not taking away your determination at all. But obviously he feels like, he's going to get it, which is good for him. You can't take that away from a guy.
And you don't want to ever squash a guy's confidence.
Not at all.
But you're right. When a guy goes that far and says, "I'm going to dominate," you wince a little bit probably as a manager or as a general manager, because you don't want that to come back and haunt the guy.
You know what you do? You meet with him after that and say, back
Tone it
off.
down
Think
just a
about
little
it
bit.
A little bit. I have no problem. I know you're going to dominate, but don't tell everybody.
The 3-2. Gordon dominates that pitch down into the right field corner.
Go.
On his way to third goes Betancourt. Gordon's into second base. And a one-out double has Royals at second and third here in inning number 3.
Well, he hit that ball on the nose. But Mitch Talbot is upstairs with everything. He will not be long for this game. He looks lost out there to me. Falling behind hitters, and when he does make a pitch, it's up in the zone, and he is really scuffling tonight. They've had him on the ropes, and he's lucky they only have 2 in.
Lucas May flied to center his first time up. Royals would take that right here. It would get him another run. Justin Germano is now loosening in the Indians' bullpen. Pitch number 64 for Mitch Talbot cuts the outside corner off. 0-1. Germano just now starting to throw. That kind of gives you an indication that in that Indians dugout, both Tim Belcher and Manny Acta have come to the realization that Talbot's probably not going to find it. He's not going to turn it around like we've seen him do a number of times this year. Breaking ball hit to short. That'll get a run home. Sutton goes to first. 2 down. May gets his second RBI of the year. 3-0 Kansas City.
Well, tomorrow night it will be Dollar Dog Night, and it's half-price student ID night as well. Show your student ID and save 50% on tickets. Enjoy dollar hot dogs all night long. There will also be a post-game fireworks show Friday, last one of the year. You don't want to miss it. Come on out.
Runner at second with 2 down for Mitch Meyer. Mitch Meyer reached on a bouncing ball in the second inning. It was ruled a hit, but that may be under review. The 1-0. Swing and a miss. And the count is 1-1. Another quick look at it, and this was what the official score had to look at. If the ball takes an unexpected bounce or hop, then a lot of times they'll rule a hit.
Even though that ball stayed down, he's got to make that play. He was sitting back on it flat-footed. He wasn't aggressive on it. He just sort of laid back.
Is that one of those situations where you say
That's
a guy,
where your glove,
you let
start
the ball
down
play
and go up? Yeah, he backed up and started backpedaling on the ball. I know, and it was a big hop, but you don't take for granted over there. That ball can do anything. You just have to be heads up and be ready to go.
2-1. Evens the count. This next pitch will be number 70 for Talbot. Who's pitched exactly 150 innings now on the season. Full count. Gerard Dyson would be next. Here's the payoff pitch. Grounded to first. Laporta with the flip. And the inning is over. Kansas City tacks on a run. We'll go to the bottom of the third. Royals 3, Indians nothing. Luis Valbuena, Lou Marson, Trevor Crow to bat for the Tribe. Matt Underwood, Rick Manning with you. And we're happy to be joined now by Dr. Dan Ross, the commissioner of the Ohio High School Athletic Association. It's a big job. Got a ton of sports, a ton of student athletes throughout the state. And, of course, here at Sports Time Ohio, we're always excited this time of year as baseball season winds down. We'll be gearing up with high school football, the playoffs, and the state championships. So exciting time of year.
Well, it's hard to believe we make kind of an annual run here, and to see the Indians in September in Week 5 for us is tomorrow, which is the headlong right straight into the playoffs.
Yeah.
And it's hard to believe. I don't know where the first 4 weeks went.
Well, it's been beautiful weather, and there's been some good football going on this year, hasn't there?
There's been some exciting teams and some surprises, and they're doing well. And when that happens, there's a lot of excitement in communities that may not have had that excitement for a number of years.
And, of course, the Ohio High School Athletic Association recently it was announced that officially the state championships will stay in Stark County for the next couple of years, and then you'll have a rotating venue for state championship football. Talk to us about that.
Well, we have the last 2 years of the contract in Stark County for 2010 and 2011. And then we have a 4-year contract of which Stark County will have the first 2 years. So that'd be 2012 and 13. And then in 2014-15, they'll have the opportunity to play at Ohio Stadium in Columbus.
Oh, boy, isn't that nice?
Well, but when you think about Fawcett and Paul Brown and Ohio Stadium, we have 3 of the most fantastic facilities for young people to play in, and our kids in Ohio have the opportunity to play in all 3 of them.
There's a walk to Luis Valbuena to start the home half of the third. Tribe down 3-0. Try to get the offense going here against Kansas City. Well, as I mentioned, Sports Time Ohio is your home for the state playoffs and state championship games. And I've had the pleasure of being a part of a number of these games, including that game with Kettering Alter when they beat Steubenville a couple of years ago. Again, it's exciting. It's fun for the kids. I think Stark County's done a phenomenal job of hosting the state championships at both Tiger Stadium in Massillon and of course, Fawcett Stadium in Canton. And I don't think there's anything wrong with adding another venue to the mix. As you say, when you've got a world-class facility like the one you have in Columbus, why not use it?
Well, it's just another opportunity. Stark County's done a marvelous job. And this isn't anything negative towards Stark County. It's just another positive opportunity for young people. And you have a youngster that plays in one of those venues as a sophomore and has the opportunity as a senior to come back and maybe play at Ohio Stadium, but he's got to play at Fawcett as a sophomore and maybe Massillon as a junior.
You're a pretty successful kid if you do that.
But we have some programs where the young people can do that.
No, absolutely. That's got to be one big thrill for a young man coming through high school doing that.
But even the coaches, we hear a lot from even the coaches to say, I would really love to have the opportunity to take my kids and play here, whether it's Fawcett or it's Paul Brown Stadium or Ohio Stadium. It's just another opportunity for those communities to share and the coaches to share and the kids to experience.
Yeah, it's always an exciting time of year here in north central Ohio, or northeastern Ohio, because, this is big football country and there are a lot of great programs. But, you talk about Sports Time Ohio reaching throughout the entire state. I mean, there are programs all over this great state that it's starting to get to that time of year, as you mentioned, where people start looking at computer points and
they're already counting and figuring. And it's interesting because I was in Cincinnati yesterday and I had a person ask me when you guys were going to start covering. And I said, well, the playoffs don't start for 5 weeks. I said, well, we've been looking. We know it's going to be close.
Well, you have a few games this winter, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to think. We start the playoffs. Well, you said this is Week 5 coming up, so I mean it's right around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And then as you said, I think the tricky part, for Sports Time Ohio is trying to blanket the whole state.
Yeah.
You want to give coverage to everybody because, as we mentioned, northeastern Ohio has great football, but so does north central Ohio. So does Stark County, and you look over to the western part of the state. I mean, there are great teams and great programs everywhere. Yeah,
period. It is, and the MAC, the conference over where St. Henry and Coldwater and Versailles, the communities there are so tickled that STO covers the ball games because they couldn't get them before, and they love the coverage, and because you're going to have usually at least 2 of those teams that are going to be in the playoffs. In the finals when it gets there. So they really do appreciate the coverage. And it's we think it's a great fit for our organization because the Indians are winding down, and it gives something between there and when the Indians pick back up, because you have basketball in there, and you have football in there, and you have bowling, and you have volleyball, and it's just to cover the state with a lot of events. People get used to looking for STO and what you do.
Well, you're right, because obviously football is a big part of a lot of communities, but there are other sports that get great spectator coverage and great community support, and they're worthy of coverage just as well.
Well, they are, and for those youngsters that are participating, that sport is as important to them as football is to, and basketball is to those parents.
Base hit for Trevor Crow keeps this third inning alive after the double play ball. And with 2 down, it will bring up Drew Sutton. Are there any big stories? Have there been any memorable moments already in the high school football season that come to the top of your mind so far this year in the first 5 weeks of football action?
I don't know whether it's memorable moments, but I think that there's an awful lot of excitement happening in communities that are now 4-0, that have been 0-4 or 1-3, and all of a sudden the community's starting to get into that experience and the excitement, and the kids that are saying that, okay, when I go to the store, somebody's stopping me and saying, hey, you guys had a great game, good luck next week, where in past those years they've never said a word to them, didn't know who they were.
Well, that's the fun. I mean, that's all part of the fun of it is growing, and every game means more and more, and every week it's more important, and the whole community builds with it.
And they do. And that first week of the playoffs, when you'd hope to have a levy on the ballot that week if you needed it, because everybody is really, really excited about what the kids have done and how their season's going.
You talk about the community support and the excitement. Obviously, I work with a guy who played in the big leagues, so he's had people adoring him for years. But I can remember back.
Is that true?
Not that I know of. I've been abused for years.
I was just checking on that. I was just trying to make sure.
Just a matter on how you look at it, I'll tell you that.
Oh, boy. But I can remember back to, playing high school football and just what you were talking about, remembering, you win a big game and you walk around town and your chest just puffed out a little bit more. And for a lot of those kids, this may be the most special time in their life where people know who they are and recognize them when they're out and about in the town. And
it's really interesting, because there's only going to be 1% of those kids are going to get D1 scholarships to go to college.
Right.
And when they put that uniform on that last time where it says Wickliffe or Strongsville or Avon Lake, whatever, across or Ashland or whomever that is, that may be the last uniform they wear unless they're playing some kind of a pickup softball game.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of pride, and they love representing their community, and that's an exciting thing for them.
Yeah, Matt, you see, you're thinking back on your day when you played. Now your son's playing in little football. And now I'm going to where my son, his friends that he went to school and high school with, they're the head coach of West G, and now they're into their own program and raising the kids and just teaching the game and promoting the game to the youngsters. And I think it's great. It's a great.
But what a great legacy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a tremendous legacy to live to your kids and to your community.
3-2 count here for Drew Sutton with 2 down and a runner at second base. Bottom of the third. And it's up high for ball 4. Well, you talk about legacy, and I think about the late, great John Reed, who left an incredible, an indelible imprint on the community of Coldwater and the high school down there, and the job he did. So sad he passed away in the past year, but he will never be forgotten in that community.
No, what a remarkable gentleman, and he was a gentleman. And when he went out on the field with his kids had a lot of respect for the game, and that respect that they learned from Mom, Dad, but John Reed had that imprint, and we'll have that imprint on generations there.
Yeah. Well, and there are a lot of great coaches throughout the state, and people just don't realize. Maybe you talk about that 1% that go on to play Division I college football. Well, there's only a small percentage of high school students who end up playing high school football, and the impact that a head coach, whether it be football or volleyball or basketball or wrestling or track and field or swimming, the impact those coaches have on those kids' lives can sometimes last a lifetime.
That's it. You impact their lives. It's just not with football. It's through caring. It's through teamwork. It's through dedication, desire, and will, and
and sportsmanship, and it goes hand in hand, and that does last a lifetime. And hopefully whatever they learn through high school sports and through the people that are teaching them, they pass on to people they know and family they know, and that's what makes this a great country.
We'll continue to pay it forward. And
exactly.
And our coaches do touch kids' lives, and many families aren't as nuclear families as they were 20 years ago, and that coach may be that one tremendous role model in that youngster's life, and I think most of our coaches really do try to do that. And they touch a lot of kids' lives and a lot of families' lives.
Well, long before it became a movie, the idea of pay it forward, Woody Hayes was talking about paying it forward back at Ohio State years ago. And now the players that he impacted carried that forward with them definitely throughout their lives.
And they did. It's interesting, down the Woody Hayes Center, there's a blackboard that they have in there that they recovered from the ROTC building that was Coach Hayes. And when they had the last big reunion through there, they could not get the players out of that room because it had Woody's and many of those sayings in his handwriting right there on the wall.
Yeah.
A lot of tears and a lot of memories with that gentleman.
2 on, 2 out for the Tribe here. 1-1 to choose. Swung on and missed.
He touched a lot of lives in very positive ways that many people don't know. And I think coaches do that.
There's no doubt about it. And again, many of these coaches, they're not doing it for the money at the high school level.
No.
These guys aren't coaching because this is the way they're going to pad the checkbook. They're doing it for the love of the game and the sport and the opportunity to have that impact on people, because probably somewhere along the line somebody had that impact on them that led them to this.
And they're passing it along.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. They want to teach those life lessons that kids are going to carry with them every day the rest of their life.
2 on, 2 out for the Tribe here in the bottom of the third. Shin Soo Choo with a 2-2 count. This is already the 26th pitch of this inning for Sean O'Sullivan. And a swing and a miss. Well, Dr. Ross, thanks so much for stopping by. We appreciate it as always. And we look forward to the playoffs and state championships right here on STO.
Well, thank you, and thank STO for your coverage of high school sports. You do a great job. Thank you, Jim.
To the fourth inning. Gerard Dyson, Mike Aviles, and Billy Butler will bat for the Royals. And he went too far, did Dyson, who struck out his first time up, reached on a fielder's choice in the second.
What a nice man, huh, Dr. Ross?
Yeah.
Nice guy.
Yep. And, that whole deal, when you've got the bids up for the state championship host. I mean, you're never going to make everybody happy. That's just,
well, you probably can never.
And it certainly probably was not an easy process to go through. I mean, there are probably other communities that they put in bids as well. Bouncing ball towards second, Valbuena. They'll take care of that one away.
Well, for all half-price student ID nights, you can get the Chew Crew Combo, which will be tomorrow night, which includes a lower reserve ticket, a special Chew Crew T-shirt for half price. That means $15. 216-420-HITS. So that Chew Crew student special tomorrow night.
Pitch is down low to Mike Aviles, who homered in the first, fly to left in the second. Now the 2-0. Fastball over the outside corner for a called strike.
Well, for Mitch Talbot, he had a 28 first pitch inning, 21 in the second, and 22 in the third. Well, he started this inning with 71 pitches.
Fouled right back to the screen by Aviles. Back out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Aviles now 7 homers, 30 driven in on the year for Kansas City. Little check swing bouncer to second base. And Valbuena takes care of him. 2 away. Here's our 5-star league leaders, brought to you by the GMC Sierra. Never send a truck to do a Sierra's job. In the month of September, Billy Butler second only to Mark Ellis of Oakland. Rick, according to Stats Inc., Billy Butler, his club record streak of getting hits in 100 straight series is the second longest current streak in baseball. The only one longer is held by Nick Markakis of the Baltimore Orioles, who's hit in 136 consecutive series.
Wow.
The longest streak since 1952, which encompasses the Stats Inc. database, is 241 straight series by Juan Pierre, who did it from 03 to 07 with the Florida Marlins and the Dodgers.
Wow.
So that gives you a little perspective on what Butler's done, where he ranks, and how far he's got to go to run down Juan Pierre.
A lot of research.
Drew Sutton throws out Butler, and the Royals go 1-2-3. 3-zip Kansas City, middle of the fourth. Travis Hafner, Shelley Duncan, Jason Nix for the Tribe here, bottom of the fourth. He's going to have that paper read inside and out before it's all over.
You better watch out a foul ball doesn't come in and...
Look out. Hafner blooped a single down the left field line his first time up. Up high, almost got him. 1-1. Check swing foul.
Well, we want to send along a happy 60th wedding anniversary to Ralph and Ann Siebert. Congratulations, and 60th year. That's incredible.
One ball, two strikes. Out of play. Proc, Shelley Duncan, Jason Nix for the Tribe here in the home half of the fourth. Sean O'Sullivan has made 50 pitches so far on the night. Chop foul.
Got some birthdays also to send along tonight. Charles Thompson of Hanoverton, Ohio is turning 80. David Fry of Charleston, West Virginia, 40. Judith Broxton of Ashtabula is 10. And Samantha and Sophie Fry of Charleston, West Virginia, turning 4. Happy birthday to each and every one.
Hafner jammed, bounces it to first. Butler takes it himself, one away. Let's go back to the studios for our first in-game update tonight. Al Pulaski has the latest on the Yankees and the Rays.
Hey, Matt. Hey, Rick. Bottom of the second inning. Marcus Thames off David Price. Yankees take a 2-0 lead as that one leaves the yard. And Tampa Bay came back with a run in the third. So it's 2-1 now New York during the fourth inning in the Bronx. Back to you, Matt.
All right, thanks, Al. Duncan struck out his first time up on a check swing. Just 2 hits so far tonight for the Tribe. The catcher May. 2 down.
Well, the final Kids Fun Day will take place Sunday as they wrap up this series with the Kansas City Royals. And for all you kids, last time to have fun out on the plaza. Come and run the bases after the game. 216-420-HITS or visit Indians.com. 9 games after tonight. Detroit will be in town Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And then it's off day Thursday and on to Chicago to wrap up the 2010 season.
Jason Nix flied to center. His first time up. O'Sullivan with a 1-0. And a line drive toward left. Gordon's got it. Indians go 1-2-3. 4 in the books. 3-0 Kansas City. Nuggets Party Pack. 50 Chicken McNuggets for just $9.99. McDonald's, I'm loving it. By KeyBank, stop in and start a conversation and unlock your possibilities. And by Panini's. Panini's, visit any of our 18 locations in Northeast Ohio, now including Twinsburg. Fifth inning. Here at Progressive Field. A youngster might be at his first Indians game.
No, he's not long for this one. Those eyes are getting a little bit heavy right about now. Pacifier's in there.
Wilson Betta a base hit his first time up, bounced out to first base in his last trip.
Do you remember when they were that young?
It's funny how fast the time seems to go.
Did you ever bring your son when he was that young to a ball game?
Well, I can't remember.
See?
Well, I worked most of them, so.
Well, then you didn't.
Might have taken him to a game. I don't know. I can't remember.
Nice talking to you.
No.
It is. It's hard to remember. They grow up so fast.
Line drive to left. Duncan reaches up and snares it in his glove for out number one. The scoreboard update brought to you by Wendy's. You know when it's real. Wendy's. His next pitch will be number 90 for Talbot. Activity once again in the Tribe bullpen as Keila Kaiahui steps in.
Well, he finally had that decent inning back in the fourth. You know, where he got him down 1-2-3, and it was the top of the lineup. And this will probably, no matter what he does, be his last inning.
Boy, San Francisco is laying the wood to Chicago at Wrigley Field tonight. They lead the Cubs 11-0 in the fourth inning. They've already banged out 14 hits in that game. They had a 9-run second inning. Giants started the night a half game in back of San Diego. Padres are in action later tonight in L.A. against the Dodgers.
Yeah, if that team ever scores, they never give up more than it seems like 2 or 3 runs.
Juan Uribe in that game for the Giants has 6 runs batted in, a grand slam and a 2-run shot.
Back into his old stomping ground, Chicago.
Yeah.
Not Wrigley, but
wrong side of town.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It looks like he likes the north side. He's had a pretty good year for them. That's going to be a really good finish, that American League West, with the Giants, San Diego,
National
Colorado.
West, yeah.
I mean, the National League, yeah. You know, because that wild card's still there, where Atlanta still has a lead. It's awfully close.
2 down.
Well, as I was mentioning, the Indians will take on the Tigers in their final home series this year. It'll be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday against the Detroit Tigers, so why not? Come on out, try the AM/PM all-you-can-eat seats. You get unlimited dogs, nachos, peanuts, popcorn, and Pepsi products for just $32.
Down low, ball 1 for Unieski Betancourt. Reached on a fielder's choice in the first. Got a ribby, his 76th. Singled and scored in the third. This time he sends a harmless fly to center. 3 fly ball outs, and Mitch Talbot has retired the last 8 Royals in a row. But Kansas City's on top 3-0. Kansas City on top as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Matt Laporta, Luis Valbuena, and Lou Marson for the Tribe.
You know, we were talking about briefly last inning how the Giants, you know, if they score any kind of runs, 3 or 4, they're going to win. Redbird gave me a little note on them. In their last 16 games, they've given up just 24 runs. Their ERA is like 126. So, I mean, and they're 10-6 because they've been beaten 1-0.
That's what's amazing. That's what's amazing.
I mean, they are really lights out. That's why I said that could be a scary team if that gets to the playoffs with the kind of pitching that they have.
Well, they're only averaging 3 runs a game during that same stretch.
Yeah.
I mean, they should be at minimum, you're 12-4. Minimum.
Well, that's right. But that's what I'm saying. They could be a scary team. You know, it gets down to pitching. You get in a short series, and they may find a way to scratch out some runs.
Speaking of scratching out some runs, Toronto beat Seattle today 1-0. Jose Bautista with his 50th home run of the year, the only run in that game.
You're kidding me. They had 2 hits, and guess who pitched for Seattle?
Felix Hernandez got beat 1-0 again.
1-0 again. And now that guy has serious numbers for Cy Young. I'm going to tell you something. He just doesn't have the wins because he plays on Seattle, who can't score. They're the worst team in the league as far as scoring runs. If you look at that guy's numbers, it's unbelievable. He could very easily win it. I think he has 11 wins, 12 wins. He's a .500 pitcher.
Matt Laporta draws a leadoff walk here in the 5th. Let's look at that National League Western Division. Rick talked about it. It's a wild race. 3 teams are still very much alive. And the wild card hunt, I mean, Atlanta, it's pretty much wild card or bust now. They've fallen 6 behind the Phillies.
Oh, yeah, it is. Because they do have 3 more with them, but the way Philly's playing, forget about it. They're playing very well. So, yeah, they better concentrate on the wild card.
A whole bunch of Philly fans in the NL West right now.
Yeah. Isn't that the truth? Colorado's starting to fall by the wayside, too.
Yeah, but lost 3 in a row.
I know, but they play against, I think they end their season, against San Diego.
Well, you know, it's unfortunate, but in baseball, you get to this point in the season, and you've played every day. You've been told, grind it out. No game's more important than the game you're playing today. But now you're getting to the point where for some of these teams, it's must-win time now.
Well, you must win, and then they need help as well.
Yeah.
That's where it's tough, is when you must win, and then you need help.
Two and 1 the count here on Luis Valbuena.
Okay, that's it. It's the Rockies-Giants next week. And to end the year, it's Padres-Giants for 3. That ought to be some kind of showdown.
2-1 pitch. Bouncer to first. Butler tags the bag, goes down to second. Double play. Let's get the latest on those San Francisco Giants. Back to the studios for an in-game update with Al.
Hey, Matt, you were talking with Rick about Juan Uribe. He had a great night in 1 inning. First a 2-run homer here in the 2nd. He comes up later in the inning with the bases loaded and a grand slam.
Wow.
2 home runs, 6 RBI in 1 inning. 11-0 Giants. Back to you.
So he drove in 6 of their 9 runs in 1 inning.
That's what a holy smokes! Like Al said, he had a good day and good week in one night, 1 inning.
We had a 9-run inning. I drove in 6.
Wow.
1-0 pitch. Sliced down the side out of play. Lou Marson bounced into a double play his first time.
What did we do for the open tonight? We did Chu in his game last week against Kansas City.
Yeah.
Uribe did it almost 1 inning. So he's got more to add.
Popped up on the infield. Betancourt grabs it, and we've played 5. Royals 3, Indians nothing. 3-zip Kansas City. Mitch Talbot retired the last 8 Royals in a row, but his night over after 5 innings of work. 3 runs on 4 hits. The new pitcher for the Indians, Justin Germano. This H.H. Gregg pitching change shows us that this will be his 20th appearance. 0-2, 2.45 ERA.
Well, right now, Germano's job, keep a 0 on the board until the Indians can find a way to do something to Sean O'Sullivan. Only 2 hits in the ball game.
Here is Alex Gordon, doubled his last time up. Looks at a strike over the outside part of the plate.
Boy, that fan, one-handed grab. He just didn't even put his beer down. Made a nice catch. Nothing to it, honey.
Don't try this yourself, though. let me handle this.
He does. High up in the deck watch. He never left the seat. Just put his hand up and see ya. There you go. Here's your baseball. I like that.
If that's a first date, it's going very well.
If it's not, he'll get another one.
There's a drive toward left. Duncan makes the catch, one away. This game recap brought to you by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. Micah Vilas jumped on this pitch in the first inning to make it 1-zip Kansas City. Later in the inning, Luis Valbuena might have been a double play. Oh boy, that's an error, and the Royals lead it 2-0. And then on the fielder's choice, they extend the lead to 3-zip in the third. For a dealer near you, visit buyatoyota.com.
Well, it's a good thing that it's only 3-0 right now, Matt, because Kansas City is 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. They had opportunities to open it up even more so. So the Indians should feel fortunate to be in this game 3-zip.
Backhanded at third. Nix throws him out. 2 down for Mitch Meyer.
I'll tell you what, May got down the line pretty good right there for a catcher. There you go.
And a quick inning for Justin Germano as Meyer flies out to center field. It's an 8-pitch sixth for Justin Germano. Kansas City on top 3-0. 3-zip, Royals on top, bottom half of the 6th inning. And for the Indians, it will be the top of the order. Trevor Crow, Drew Sutton, and Shin-Soo Choo. Sean O'Sullivan misses down low for ball 1.
Well, now going through the 3rd time through the lineup, see if they can make an adjustment.
Trevor Crow, a base hit his last time up. Bounces one up the middle. And it's through. The Indians get their leadoff man aboard. Second hit for Crow, who was not in the original starting lineup tonight, but he's made the most of his opportunity here this evening. Here's our Subway fresh face of the game. Jason Kipnis went 3 for 4. Double, triple homer. Just missed hitting for the cycle in the championship game after he hit for the cycle in the clincher in the International League title game. He'll play in the Arizona Fall League. And if you missed it the other night when we were in Minnesota, Indians assistant general manager Chris Antonetti, who will take over as GM next year, told me that Kipnis has really progressed quickly this year, and he feels that if everything goes according to plan and he doesn't have any setbacks or anything of that nature, there's a good chance he'll be in the big leagues next year at some point. .70 pitches now for Sean O'Sullivan, 40 for strikes.
There he goes.
Crow takes off, got a great jump, and he steals that pretty easily.
Second stolen base. That's good.
Number 18, for Crow.
Well, the Indians have had their leadoff man aboard 4 out of the 6 innings.
Another look courtesy of Saucony Shoes, dedicated to inspiring every runner every day. At Saucony, we run. Drew Sutton, 0 for 1 with a walk. Tried to bunt the runner over, and he bunts it foul. Down 3 runs, but I guess trying to get something on the board.
He was bunting on his own. Manny had nothing to do with that. He was bunting for a base hit. You're not going to give up an out now, down 3. He's got to sit up there and try and get a base hit. That's what he was doing. He thought he saw Bennett back, and he was going for a base hit.
2-1 the count. Royals manager Ned Yost has seen his team jump out to the early 3-0 lead. Indians have just 3 hits. 2 of them belong to Trevor Crow. And the count is now 3-1 for Drew Sutton.
Now it looks like he's starting to nibble a little bit with his fastball. In the driver's seat here now, if you're Sutton, just look for that fastball in the zone and put a good swing on one. If it's not, you take it.
Right back to the mound. That's not going to get him over. Sutton is out, number 1.
Well, if you're looking for an internship in the sports, entertainment, or recreation field, you don't want to miss the 2010 internship fair. That'll be held Tuesday here at Progressive Field. Several of the area's top employers, including the Tribe, Cavs, and the Monsters, will be on site. Tickets are just $30 per person, which includes dinner, buffet, and a ticket to watch the Indians and the Tigers. Visit Indians.com/internship fair to register.
Shin-Soo Choo, 0 for 2 tonight. They popped him up and struck him out. Inside for ball one. A strike is called, evens the count of 1-1.
Yeah, in his last at bat, he got Chu when Chu had an opportunity with 2 outs. He got him on changeups. He got him to swing at 3 changeups, and that time Chu takes a fastball inside. Don't know if he was looking for a changeup off this guy or what.
Two balls and a strike. Missed inside. You saw Philip Humber loosening in the Royal bullpen. 78 pitches on the night for O'Sullivan.
I think, if he gives him a fastball, they'll probably elevate it to see if he swings under it. But other than that, I would think he would attack him with his changeup and that curveball you just saw. Oh, see what happens.
Foul down the right side. He ripped it hard.
He's probably saying thank you. It was foul. Chu, when you get that ball down, the fastball down, he smokes it. He's got that kind of power. He was just a hair too quick on it.
Now the 80th pitch of the night for O'Sullivan. The 2-2 count on Chu with a runner at second and 1 down here in the 6th. Did he go? They appeal. He did, says Vanover. And Chu is out number 2. He can't believe it.
Well, I think he might have. He looked like the intent was there. You know what? I like what that catcher did. That catcher called for the fastball. And I don't think that O'Sullivan wanted to throw it, but he pumped his fist saying, come on, throw it. And he threw it up there and caught Chu in between. Now, Chu never argues or never says much, so he didn't feel like he swung right there.
Two down for Travis Hafner. Third strikeout for O'Sullivan. Bronx 1-0. He went too far. Seems to have a lot of hitters off balance. And the count 1-1. Crow singled and stole second, but he's still there after Sutton hit a comebacker to the mound and Chu struck out. And the 2-1 is in the dirt. Good smother job there by Lucas May. Talked earlier about Mike Sarbaugh, who's with the ball club after managing the Columbus Clippers to the AAA championship. The Indians also called up Vinny Pistano, who worked out of that Clippers bullpen, and catcher Luke Carlin. So they're on the active Major League roster now for the Tribe as well, joining Mike Sarbaugh. So the Tribe Major League roster now 31. Full count. Travis awaiting the payoff pitch. And a big bouncer to second. Aviles throws him out. 6 complete. It's 3-0 Kansas City.
What's possible at ATT.com. AT&T Rethink Possible. By the Sierra from GMC. Never send a truck to do a Sierra's job. And by Wendy's. You know when it's real. Wendy's.
We move along to the 7th inning here at Progressive Field. Leadoff man Gerard Dixon bounces one. Or Dyson, excuse me, bounces it to second base for out number 1. Our pitching matchup brought to you by the G Series from Gatorade. 3 fuels for 3 stages of the game. Gatorade has evolved. That's G.
Well, Sean O'Sullivan, only 3 hits. He has given up. He has walked 3, struck out 3. He's done his job. The Indians haven't scored. Mitch Talbot, a rough go early again, gave up 2 first-inning runs and 1 back in the 3rd, and that's where we stand.
I mean, the Indians pitching, I mean, you're looking at, 9, 10, 12 in a row they set down.
Yeah, that's exactly right. They've done what they've had to do after you're down early, you're trailing early. It's tough to get 3 hits. They've had their leadoff man, the Indians have had their leadoff man on 4 out of the 6 innings. They can't do anything. O'Sullivan's just changing speeds, a little changeup and throwing the fastball in. And the Indians hitters are caught in between.
Swung on and missed, and Aviles hurt his wrist on that. Looks like he's going to try to stay in there, but...
Well, he's going to take some time. Watch how that bat, I don't know if he thought he was going to hit that ball and something snapped in the wrist.
He had to let go of it. Luckily, he didn't drill the catcher, Lou Marson. Up and in with it, full count.
Throwing that big slow curveball right here, right down the middle.
Fastball in, and Aviles hammers it to third. Nix throws him out, 2 down. Let's get a look at the answer to our AT&T trivia question. AT&T Rethink Possible, talking about switch hitters since '56 to win the AL batting title.
I remember Willie Wilson did it on the last day he won a batting title.
Bernie Williams of the Yankees also won one. The third guy,
who knows?
Bill Miller.
He won the batting
title
with
Boston.
Boston.
That. How about that? That's the year they won it.
No, they won in 04, didn't they?
Oh, I thought it was 03.
Bill
04,
Miller. I remember Bill Miller, but I don't remember him winning a batting title. Huh. I would have never guessed it. Good question.
Swung on and missed. Oh, that's the year the Marlins won it in 03. The Marlins beat the Yankees in 03.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the Red Sox went in 04 and won it all. Two-one pitch. And Billy Butler with a couple of walks tonight. And a ground out to short in the fourth. It seems like in every series that we've played them, he's picked up a hit in the first game of the series. So there's not been much drama with regards to keeping his streak alive.
Well, it's not a bad philosophy to just go ahead and walk on the guy. But I'll tell you, that's where, right there.
He's going to keep the streak alive.
That's what makes him such a good hitter, is because he uses that other field so well, and that's his forte, or doubles.
101 consecutive series with a hit for Billy Butler as he doubles with two out here in the seventh.
42nd time this year he has doubled. Now, last year he was the man of doubles, because he has hit more doubles than anybody in the last couple of years. He's just a guy that continues to go. He had over 50 the last year.
I mentioned earlier, Juan Pierre is tops on that list since 1952 with a hit in 241 consecutive series. Some other names of note on that list. Second is Kirby Puckett.
Okay,
pretty good hitter.
Doesn't
in his
surprise
day.
you.
Hit in 212 straight series from 1991 through 95. Third on the list might surprise you. Miguel Tejada. Throwback, Butler is there.
Well, he was a machine for a while there, too.
210 straight series with at least a hit. Fourth, Derek Jeter, 207.
That doesn't surprise me.
How about fifth is Kurt Flood. 193 straight series from 1963 to 66. Wally Joyner is next in 172. Then Wade Boggs, not surprising there. Mo Vaughn is next. 164 straight series.
Now that surprises me.
1994 through 1998.
That surprises me. He was a good hitter, but I didn't.
Yeah,
you would figure he could take an offer.
Paul Molitor's next, 162. Don Mattingly, 160. So, and Ichiro, 160.
I'm surprised Ichiro doesn't have 1,060.
Well, this doesn't have. I'm assuming that his streak ended at some point this year, because it says from 2007 through 2010, and there's no asterisk. It's not a current. So yeah, his series ended at some point this year. But if you'd asked me who could break Juan Pierre's record, I'd have said Ichiro.
Yeah,
I would have thought he'd have been the guy.
Well, he's got to be nearing 200 hits. He only needs 2 more. And he didn't get them today, I don't think. Well, he might have. 7 hits.
Popped him up on the infield. Drew Sutton makes the grab. So the 2-out double does no damage. Stretch time in Cleveland, 3-zip Kansas City. including Twinsburg. Visit paninisgrill.com for a location near you. Bottom of the 7th inning here at Progressive Field. It will be Shelley Duncan, Jason Nix, and Matt Laporta. Sean O'Sullivan has gone 6 shutout innings, allowing just 3 hits. This is a guy who came in with an ERA of 6.58.
Well, and a guy that the Indians scored 5 off of last Saturday in Kansas City. Took the loss in that game. That was that rain-delayed game that was 3 times, well, actually officially 4 times.
Don't forget the 2-minute delay.
Right. That was 4 times.
By the way, while we were away during the break, we did realize that Ichiro got 2 hits today, so he has picked up 200 hits in 10 straight years.
That's the only American leaguer to ever do it. 10 straight years. That's incredible.
Fastball strike to Duncan, 3-1. Vinny Pastano, there he is. We just talked about him being added to the roster today. Might get his first major league action before this night is over.
Well, I'm sure he'll be coming on.
In the dirt. Duncan draws a walk, and again the Indians have their leadoff man aboard.
Yeah, he doesn't want to throw his fastball for strikes. All right, 5 out of 7 innings. They just haven't been. The Indians have not been able to capitalize.
Sunday night, episode 3 of the STO Celebrity Par 3 Shootout. This week it's Elvis Gerbach, Austin Carr, Al Pulaski, Tim the Ripper Owens from Judas Priest, Jimmy Donovan, Jimmy Hanlon. They've got all the action Sunday night at 10 right here on STO. Rope fair, down the line it goes. Duncan into second. He's going to turn and go for third. Nix will roll into second base with a double. And the Indians have something cooking now here in the 7th. Runners at second and third, and nobody out.
Well, there's a fastball. He wanted to get ahead, and Nix took advantage of it. One he throws for a strike, and they were able to get a base knock. Take advantage of his 4th walk. So now they have second and third, and nobody out. And out comes Ned Yost. Looks like his night might be over with. He's making the call to the bullpen, so that's going to do it. You know, I couldn't expect much more from O'Sullivan the way he was going tonight, but he gave him 6 solid innings.
He cannot lose it. We've got a timeout here in Cleveland. Tribe threatening, down 3-0. They've got second and third, nobody out. And the Royals go to their bullpen for the first time tonight. It's Philip Humber, Texas native, on for the 7th time this year. 5 walks, 14 strikeouts in his 18 innings of work. Philip Humber, once upon a time, was a highly touted starting pitcher out of Rice when the Mets made him their first-round pick back in 2004.
Spent this year at 20 starts down in Omaha for the Royals, went 5-6 and a 4.47 ERA.
In his college career, he was 35-8 at Rice. I mean, he was a dominant starter as a freshman when he went 11-1. He was one of those guys, I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think he was one of those guys, as Matt Laporta steps in, who, like Jeremy Guthrie, signed a major league contract.
Oh, yeah?
When he was drafted. And so you kind of get this artificial clock starting right away.
Yeah, it's a tough, you're exactly right.
Down low, 2 balls, no strikes. When the Twins traded Johan Santana to the New York Mets, not only did they get Carlos Gomez, but also Philip Humber was part of that trade. But he just, it's just never really worked out for him in the big league level like I think a lot of folks initially envisioned for a guy like this. But Humber, he's always had a pretty good fastball, big overhand curve. Now the 2-1 fastball, and he threw it by him to even the count. But as I mentioned, he was drafted in 2004, and 1 year later, boom, Tommy John surgery.
Seems like it gets everybody.
Now the 2-2 down low. And, with that injury, Rick, he pitched in just a handful of games in 2005, a handful of games in 2006. Finally, in 2007, pitched in 28 games, 3 in the big leagues. But then the Mets ended up shipping him to Minnesota, where he didn't fare much better with the Twins. Payoff pitch, way outside, ball 4. The bases are loaded with nobody out. And the batter will be Luis Valbuena, 0 for 1. He walked in the 3rd, bounced into a double play in the 5th.
Well, the inning's set up for the Tribe. They can get right back in this ball game or have a big inning. Nobody out, 2 walks, providing some help in the inning.
Valbuena's only had 2 at-bats this year in bases-loaded situations, and he has 1 for 2. Remember, early in the year in Detroit, he hit the grand slam off Justin Verlander.
First inning. Grand slam, if I'm not mistaken. That was way back. That was a 5-run first inning. And then, if I'm not mistaken, that was, I think Detroit came back to win that game.
Well, yeah, you know what? I think you're right. That was the game we lost 9-8.
Yep.
It was the last game of the series.
They had a 5-run first inning, and Valbuena hit the grand slam, and it was off. I'm thinking because Verlander beat us like 4 times last year, and it was like we couldn't touch him. And here we go. We got a 5-run first inning, and I was thinking, holy smokes, different year.
Yeah. Well, let's see what Valbuena can do here. Indians down 3-0. They have just 4 hits on the night. Right back to the screen to even the count. Popped out of play. And the count is 1-2. Let's go back to April 11th in Detroit. Justin Verlander serving up the grand slam to Luis Valbuena. And staked the Tribe to the big early lead. But a game they ultimately could not hang on to. The 1-2 pitch. Bouncing ball toward short. Backhanded by Betancourt. They get 1 at second. On to first. Not in time. Valbuena hustles down the line. Indians pick up their first run of the night. Valbuena's 24th RBI on the year. It's a 3-1 game.
Well, Valbuena hustles to beat that out. Don't give up that double play. They've hit into 2 tonight. They tried to turn it. Betancourt over to Aviles. And just in time, he gets that foot on the base. Bang, bang play. So the Tribe on the board. It's 3-1.
And we're going to get a pinch hitter now as Jordan Brown will bat for Lou Marson. Brown looking for some success as a pinch hitter. 1 for 5 on the year. Ball gets loose from Butler. Coming home to score is Nix. It's a 1-run game. See how that scored.
Thank you very much.
But Butler, it just looked like he had it but didn't get it cleanly.
That's got to be an error. You know what? That didn't look like that bad of a throw from Humber. Let's wait and see. We'll get a replay of it and get a look. There it is right there. He's got to catch that ball. It slipped out of his glove. It was right there and falls out of his glove. And first baseman's gloves are so big. I don't know if he even felt it drop out. It's going to be an error on Butler.
So that allows the Indians to close the gap to a single run. Tying run at first base with 1 out.
Kansas City they're last in the league in defense. Their defense is not very good either. So they just give a run right there. Takes that double play away, and the Indians make it a 3-2 game.
One throw over to first.
Boy, I'd be leery of throwing over there again.
The 1-1 to Brown. There's a fly ball, deep right field. Meyer is back on the track, and he makes the catch for out number 2. And Valbuena trots back to first. Top of the order, Trevor Crowe. He has 2 of the Indians' 4 hits tonight. Both of them singles, 1 on the 3rd, 1 on the 6th. Philip Umber came on in relief here with the first 2 men on base in the inning. Second and third, nobody out. He walked Laporta to load the bases. Since then, a ground ball out, a fly ball out. But the error by his first baseman initially allowed that second run to score, but it would have scored anyway on that fly ball by Brown. So essentially no harm really done by the error. It's always easier to say that in retrospect.
Well, you do, because what you do, you take that ground ball away from that pitcher of getting out of the inning.
Fly ball, line drive left field. Down the line, Gordon cuts it off. On his way to third is Valbuena. And into second base is Trevor Crowe with a 2-out double. His third straight hit in the game. And the Indians have runners at second and third with 2 down. Boy, what does Trevor Crowe know that the rest of the lineup does not?
Well, he wasn't supposed to play. And that's what you know. You get the breaking ball, you go the other way. He gets his third consecutive hit. He's had a good night. Stolen 2 bases. Doesn't this always happen? You better, if I was a manager, you know what you do? You start 9 fake people, and then all of a sudden, right before game time, you tell them, no, you're playing, you're playing, you're playing.
Trevor has 3 of the 5 hits tonight for the Tribe. And now Drew Sutton 0 for 2. A base hit here could change this game dramatically. Indians down a run. But if Sutton can punch one through, they can very easily take the lead.
Give them the lead, absolutely.
Umber with the 0-1. And Sutton bites it off. Nothing into the count. And the 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball, fights it off. He just got a piece of that to stay alive. Umber made 20 starts at AAA this year for the Omaha Royals and posted an ERA of 4.47. Had just 5 wins and 6 losses. He averaged just a little over 5 innings a start at AAA. The 0-2. May's going to go out to talk. He's thrown 2 straight breaking balls, and Sutton has fouled both of them off. Boy, Tampa Bay has really flipped the tables on New York. Rays lead the Yankees now 8-3.
7-run 6th inning.
That'll do it.
Yes, it will. They did that once to them down in Tampa, didn't they? They put up a huge number in 1 inning.
Well, after losing the first 2, if they can hold off and win here tonight, then they'll split the series. They have to feel pretty good going into New York. 2-strike pitch up high.
There you go. It came out and said, he fouled off those couple of breaking balls or those pitches down, changed the eye level. Let's go with a fastball upstairs, see if he'll chase it. If not, we can always come back to our breaking ball.
Fastball away, punched him out. Indians get a pair. After 7, it's now a 3-2 game. Well, 3-2, Royals on top as we go now to the 8th inning of action. After 2 scoreless innings of relief, Justin Germano gives way now to left-hander Tony Sipp. Tony Sipp on for the 68th time this year, and we'll see Luke Carlin behind the plate. Carlin, as we mentioned earlier, just got the call up today. Carlin was acquired by the Pittsburgh Pirates back on August the 10th. He's bounced around a little bit. He was a 10th round selection by Detroit way back in 2002. He's appeared in 46 big league games in his career with San Diego and Arizona. He's a switch hitting catcher. Kind of get the feeling, Rick, that had this game stayed 3-0, maybe Vinny Pastano would have come on.
There's no doubt about it. Now you're back in the ball game. You got one more inning here that you've got to put a 0 on the board and give hopes your offense can score, because in the 9th you're going to face Mr. Automatic for them.
Joaquin Soria.
Yeah, I mean, so you're playing, when you play those guys, you play for 8 innings and hope you get the lead, keep him out of the game. Not to say you can't come back on him, but he has been so automatic this year. It's not even funny.
There's a long drive, deep right and way out of here. There's that power of Kila Kaiahue.
Yeah.
That's only his 5th home run of the year. But that's what Kansas City has been looking for from the big man.
Well, their 2nd home run tonight. I mean, both have been solo shots, but that's a big one. Right when the Indians come back and get 2, Tony Sipp did not make a good pitch there. Fastball went a long way. I mean, he just sat and watched. Look at that fastball middle in. Tony Sipp knew it as soon as he hit it. So Kaiahue hits his 5th and makes it a 4-2 game.
And Yuniesky Betancourt singled and scored in the 3rd. Now up for KC. Looks at the ball outside. Right back over the screen. Off the inside corner at the knees, and Betancourt doesn't like it, but the count evens now at 2-2. I suppose when you're looking away, any pitch in always looks like to the hitter like it's off the plate in.
Yeah, because you're looking out over. You see, you're leaning out there, and you don't really have your perspective looking down at the plate. And the same goes when you're looking in. You can't tell how far out. It looks like it's that far away. And the plate only 17 inches long, but that's why a lot of major league hitters, when you teach some guys to cut the plate in half and you don't get it on your portion of the plate, that you take the ball because you're not going to do much with it.
Oh, that was right down the middle, and Betancourt swats it to deep center. It's over the head of Crow. And into second base with a double is Betancourt. I don't know that I've ever seen a ball hit the wall and check up like that one just did.
It hit the seam.
It sure did. Hit right between the pads.
Yes, it did. And I mean, Tony Sipp right now not making very good pitches with his fastball. Watch the location. You don't have to cut the plate anywhere with that. That's right down the middle. And he's going to take advantage of it. Up, right into the barrel of that bat. And watch this ball hit and kick straight up. Right at the corner of that seam on the first pad. bounces straight up, so it's back-to-back extra base hits, the home run, and now a double.
And the scramble call for the bullpen. They are getting activity in a hurry after Sip gave up the homer, and now a double, and it's Vinny Pistano. It won't take long for him to get ready because he was hot before.
That's exactly right. He was ready to come into the game until the Indians got their 2 runs to make it a ball game, and they figured we're not going to put the young man in game situation like this. But they bring in Tony Sip, and what happens? You give up a homer and a double. Now, think about this. Did that affect him in any way? And how long was Sip up there? I wasn't watching, getting up loose to come into the ball game.
Well, they both were throwing at one point, and they both sat down. So I assume they were both ready to go. Now Alex Gordon, 1 for 3 with a double.
Well, and you had 2 out of the 3 left-handers, so I'm sure that had a lot to do with it.
Gordon, when he doubled in the 3rd, Kansas City had runners at 2nd and 3rd and 1 out. They got a ground ball to get a run home. And that made it 3-0, and it stayed that way until the Indians just scored a pair in the bottom of the 7th. But Kansas City coming right back with a homer and a double and looking for more. High fly ball, center field. Trevor Crow calling for it.
See if he tags.
Runner tags. He's bluffing, though. Throw off line all the way through. 1 down. Hey, let's go back to the studios and find out what in the world happened in New York between the Rays and the Yankees, Al.
Man, a crazy 6th inning. It was 3-1 New York heading into it, but the Rays score 7. Carl Crawford knocks in 2 with this base hit to right. So the Rays lead it now 8-3. They're in the bottom of the 6th in the Bronx. Back to you, Matt.
All right, thanks, Al. CC Sabathia, 7 earned runs on 10 hits tonight in that ball game for New York.
Well, he got Price the last time they matched up down in Tampa, and Price turned it around on him, at least to this point tonight.
The 0-1 pitch to Lucas May. Foul tipped it right into the glove of Carlin. 0-2 the count. No balls, 2 strikes. With a runner at 2nd and 1 out. Here in the 8th inning, Tribe down 4-2. Runner goes, Sip delivers, pitches inside, throw to 3rd, way off line. And a nice stab by Nix.
He had a huge jump and took off in that situation. Don't know if Tony was paying too much attention to him.
Just the 2nd steal of the year for Betancourt.
Yeah, he's not a base stealer by any means, but I think he just had Sip timed. 0-2, he's concentrating on getting the out right there, and he might have felt that he was going to throw a breaking ball and maybe felt he could see the sign, but now he's in scoring position. They got to bring the infield in.
The 1-2.
Always easier to steal 3rd base with that left-hander on the mound because at 2nd it's the 2nd baseman that has to hold you close, and if you don't stop the runner, I don't care how fast you run, you can time it and get a good head start.
Sip ready with a 2-2. And it's outside, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Sips payoff pitch. Grounded foul. Sometimes when you're that runner at third, you just have to hope that ball doesn't hit you. Because I don't know how.
Well, you turn
much,
sideways.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to. I'm
Get
not
skinny,
going
as they
face
say.
first. I'm going sideways. If you want to hit me, you're going to try and find some meat.
Swung on and missed. Sip gets a big strikeout, 2 down. Now the infield can go back to normal depth. Here's our Miller Taste Greatness moment tonight on this date in 2007. Rafael Betancourt punching out Mark Ellis to clinch the American League Central Division for the Indians. And a wild October ride ensued for the Tribe as they would topple the New York Yankees.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, and that was only 3 years ago.
Boy, you look at that team, and it seems like a lot longer than that.
I know.
Just because of the turnover.
3 years ago. Well, the Royals tonight certainly haven't helped themselves with runners in scoring position. 0 for 10 tonight.
Larry Vanover not making any friends here in Cleveland.
Well, let's see. He called one on Chu earlier. Well, the barrel head of that bat stayed back. His hands wanted to. He didn't go as far as Chu did.
In the dirt, 3 balls and no strikes. Left-handed hitting Gerard Dyson waits on deck.
You can see a 3-0 count here where they may let him swing even if he's hitting ninth because he's going to get a fastball. Oopsie. Not there.
4-pitch walk to Meyer. 2 on, 2 out for Gerard Dyson now, who is 0 for 4 on the night. Already, Tony Sipp has made 24 pitches, 12 balls, 12 strikes.
Yeah, he's had a little problem locating.
Dyson looks at a strike. The 0-1. Threw it by him again. Nothing into the count. Sipp now 1 strike away from getting out of the inning. And the 0-2. Swung on and missed. Garland throws to first to end the inning. But the homer by Kayahue has Kansas City on top now 4-2. They got them all covered, don't they?
Yes, they do. Look at that. It's great.
Robinson Tejeda on for the 50th time this year for Kansas City.
He'll be coming on to face Chu, Hafner, and Duncan. And this is the inning that the Indians want to get it done, is right here.
Shin-Soo Choo 0 for 3 tonight. The Royals couldn't get him out in Kansas City, but they've had his numbers so far here tonight. And a bunt foul, third base side. And that's a fastball up high. 1-1 the count on Chu. High fly ball, deep center. Back goes Dyson, and he'll make the catch. One gone here in the 8th. Travis Hafner 1 out of 3 on the night.
Well, they use their shift a little bit for Hafner, but then they bring Benemet towards second base. And they leave Betancourt at short.
Ball misses off the plate, 1-0. In the air, near the line. Coming on is Gordon. 2 down. Tomorrow night, the Notre Dame College High School football game of the week is Brunswick at Twinsburg. Dave Bacon and Frank Stams will bring you all the action tomorrow night at 11 right here on STO. Shelly Duncan. 0 for 2. Walked and scored his last time up. And as Rick said, after Robinson Tejeda, you've got Joaquin Soria.
It's no good. You don't want to look ahead.
Four runs, 8 hits for the Tribe. 2 runs, 5, or for Kansas City rather. 2 runs, 5 hits for the Indians. That came right back at a piece of the catcher, Lucas May. Tampa Bay's not letting up on New York. They now lead it 10-3. But that's a pretty quiet Yankee Stadium right about now.
Yeah, but I still think the Yankees have the season series, which is the first tiebreaker. They won the season series, I think, against them in Tampa, so they have the tiebreaker. Should they end up in a tie? Wouldn't that be something?
But if you remember right, Rick, Tampa Bay finishes with the Royals,
right,
while the Yankees finish with Boston.
Oh, they got 6 with Boston. That's exactly right.
Oh.
Tampa Bay finishes 4 in Kansas City. And I forget where they're going after New York here. Let me think about this.
Tejeda ready, and the 1-2. Smashed, foul, third base side. Talking about Tampa?
Yeah, tomorrow.
In the dirt. They are home for Seattle.
There you go. They got 3 with Seattle and then 4 with Kansas City.
And the 2-2. Same place. Shelley Duncan trying to keep this inning alive for the Indians. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down, bases empty. Low, full count. Jason Nix would be next. And the payoff is in the dirt. So the Indians will bring the tying run to the plate here in the 8th inning. Jason Nix doubled and scored his last time up.
Well, Jason has been getting after it early tonight. He's had 3 at-bats, and he's seen a total of 5 pitches.
Swung on and missed. Breaking ball. In off the plate, 1-1 to count. Robinson Tejeda looks in with a 1-1 count for Nix. And Jason fouls it straight back out of play. 1-2. Nix flied to center in the 2nd, lined out to left in the 4th, before lining a double into the left field corner for the Indians in the 7th inning. And that set them up. They did score 2 runs. Kansas City came back and added to their lead, and they're up a pair now here in the 8th. Count remains 1-2. Texas native Jason Nix trying to deliver for the Indians here. Tejeda with a 1-2, and he struck him out. We'll go to the ninth. 4-2 Royals. Four-2, Kansas City on top as we go to the ninth inning. On for the Indians is Vinny Pestano. Will make his major league debut for the Indians.
I got to tell you, he came out of that bullpen and he sprinted to the mound. It was beautiful. He couldn't wait to get in there. We timed it. It took him about 6 seconds to get from the bullpen. A lot like, Heath Bell, the closer for the San Diego Padres, does it.
Pestano was a 20th round pick of the Indians in the 06 draft out of Cal State Fullerton. He's 6 feet tall, 205 pounds. Right-hander had a 1.81 ERA in 57 games between Columbus and Akron.
Well, he's going to get the big part of this lineup, 2, 3, 4.
Fastball for a strike. Pestano allowed 1 run in 5 innings over 5 games in the AAA postseason for Columbus. And you talk about pitching well down the stretch. In his final 10 regular season appearances for the Clippers, he gave up 3 hits, struck out 10, walked 2.
Well, Dave Miller was telling us, he's the kind of pitcher, he's aggressive. He comes in there and he comes right at you. He's got a lot of guts. He comes right with you. We'll see. He's got to be pumped up.
Right back.
And it's been nothing but strikes so far.
94 miles an hour with that last fastball, so he's got some giddy up. And that's 94 miles an hour at the end of a long season, postseason for the AAA ball club. Back out of play. This is Joaquin Soria in the Royals bullpen. Pestano's 25 years old. Off-speed pitch, and Aviles able to lay off. Little tapper back to the mound. And Pestano throws him out, 1 away. Last year, Vinny was second in the Eastern League with 24 saves. Made the Eastern League All-Star team for the Akron Arrows. And it had just a .286 ERA. In his career coming into this season, Pastano had pitched in 109 minor league games. That covers 3 seasons, and his ERA combined was just .294, and he didn't do anything to hurt that with his work this season. The 0-1. Shot for the outside corner and missed. 1-1. Billy Butler is 1 for 2. Walked twice, scored a run, doubled in the 7th. Just a little bit above the belt, 2-1. Probably doesn't matter for a ball player whether it's a packed house or a night like this where there are a few in the stands. When it's your first major league appearance, your heart's probably
exactly
racing,
right.
isn't it?
Well, there's no reason for it. I mean, your goal is here. Your dream is to make it to a big league ball game. Who cares? There could be nobody in the stands. If it's a major league game, you're pumped up.
If this would have been a week ago in Kansas City, there might not have been anybody in the stands.
Well, you bet. You can tell. Look at that. He's breathing hard. His heart is pounding. He's facing a good hitter right here, trying to put him away.
Popped back out of play.
You know, I mean, your goal when you sit and you dream about making the major leagues, I don't think you have it as a packed house and you're coming into Game 7 of the World Series to make your first appearance. You know what I'm saying? You're just saying my goal is to get to the big leagues, and you get between the lines, and it doesn't matter. It's a packed house.
Good pitch. He rung him up looking. His first major league strikeout, 2 down in the 9th.
Came against a major league hitter, too, Billy Butler. It'll be our McDonald's. I'm loving it. Why not? Congratulations, first major league strikeout. It's called. He locked up Billy Butler, and Billy realized that's it. He was looking for the fastball, and he got the slider.
And that baseball will go over into the dugout for safekeeping. So with 2 down, Wilson Bedimit, 1 for 4, will be the hitter. Low and away, 2 balls and no strikes. Bedimit had a base hit in the first, leading to Kansas City's eventual loading of the bases, but they would manage just 1 run out of that. And that's probably the one thing that kept the Indians in this game tonight. Because in the first, Mitch Talbot gave up the home run to Mike Aviles, and then Kansas City had him loaded with only 1 out. It could have gotten away from him in a hurry, but he only allowed the 1 run after the homer. And then 1 run in the 3rd, and that was it until Kansas City tacked on a run in the 8th inning. Bedimit down to first with 2 away, and Kila Kaiahue is the batter. He homered his last time up. If you missed any of it earlier, stick around. We'll have the Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care postgame show coming up next. Now the 0-1. 0-2 the count. Manny Pistano ready. And the right-hander's 0-2 pitch. In the air, right center. Chu calling for it. And the inning is over. Manny Pistano with a scoreless inning in his major league debut. Now we'll see if the Tribe can rally in the bottom of the ninth. Soriano has saved more games than Soria.
But when you look at the Royals, he's
Matt Laporta waves at a pitch for strike one.
You know, out of his 41 saves, the Royals only have 62 wins. So that's over 63, 64%.
0-2, quickly the count. The 0-2. Right back. Valbuena waits on deck. Tribe needs to get a runner aboard to bring the tying run to the plate. Swung on and missed. One down in the ninth. Even if you get a runner on base, that doesn't exactly improve your chances because Soria has only allowed 4 home runs on the year.
Well, this guy has emerged as really just one of the best closers in the league. And a guy that was a Rule 5 pick from the San Diego Padres. And has developed into this role. And, I mean, boy, oh boy, you want to talk about a sure thing. When you talk about Kansas City, this is it. Last year it was Zach Greinke going to the mound, and the way he pitched, he was going to give you something. But when you get the lead, this is the guy you turn it over to, and he is lights out.
1-1 to count on Valbuena. Strike 2 called. Soria grew up in northern Mexico. And when he was just a kid, he was traveling with the summer league teams. And he actually pitched against, when he was 13 years old, he was pitching against guys who were in their 30s.
Well beyond his years, huh?
Well, I mean, I suppose that's what probably taught him that big breaking ball and taking something off. Valbuena with a fly ball to right. Mitch Meyer has it, 2 down. And now Luke Carlin will get his first at bat as an Indian with 2 down here in the bottom of the 9th. First pitch strike to Luke Carlin. Just missed down low. Soria grew up in a family where school and grades were very important. His dad is a middle school math teacher. His brother and her sister are both dentists. And he says that's probably what he'd be too right now if he wasn't blessed with a right arm that can blaze a fastball and pitch these closeout situations in Major League Baseball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two down, bases empty, and the 2-2 is swung on and missed, and the game is over. Indians go 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 9th, and the Kansas City Royals win it by a final score of 4-2. Winning pitcher tonight is Sean O'Sullivan. It's just his 2nd win as a Royal, 3rd win on the year. Joaquin Soria with his 41st save of the season. Losing pitcher for the Indians is Mitch Talbot, who drops to 9-13. With the win, the Royals are now 63-89. The Indians drop to 62-91.